Right now, in 2026, Seoul's subway has achieved something rare: 100% platform screen doors. Every single station, every platform, floor-to-ceiling glass barriers between you and the tracks. The system won't let you fall, won't let you get pushed. It's designed to protect you. The punctuality is remarkable. Over 99% measured against the international standard of 16 minutes. That's data from Korea Railroad Corporation. Think about what that means. A network carrying 7 million people every single day, delayed only 1% of the time across an entire year. We're talking seconds here. If the sign says the train arrives at 8:32, it actually shows up at 8:32. Not 8:32 and 30 seconds. Precision you can set your watch by, so people trust it. When the display says 7 minutes, you know you have 7 minutes. That trust becomes routine. You can take one more sip of coffee, leave the house 5 minutes later. The system keeps its promises. It looks perfect, safe, accurate, reliable, infrastructure the world envies. But then, what about rush hour? 8:32 a.m. Morning commute, Sin Nanhyun Station on Line 9, right in the heart of Gangnam. The express train pulls in. Capacity 184%. What that actually means is a train car designed for 160 people is carrying 294. The doors open and people pour out. Some look like they just escaped something, others have gone completely blank. Sweat-soaked shirts, wrinkled suits. Here's the weird part is nobody looks angry. Nobody complains. Nobody even seems surprised. They move like this is normal, like this was always going to happen. In 2024, Line 9 Express hit a peak of 199% capacity. Ministry of Land data. A 160-person car carrying nearly 320 people. I honestly didn't understand how that was physically possible when I first saw the number. But if you've actually been inside, you get it. You wear your bag in front, pin your arms to your body, take shallow breaths. Your chest can't fully expand. You're breathing from the top of your lungs only. And somehow, collectively, everyone reorganizes the space. It's almost choreographed. Humans adapt, finding ways to occupy space that shouldn't exist. So here's the question is, why do we accept this as inevitable? How does 184% happen? This isn't just a transit problem. It's the output of 3 engines working together with machine precision. Let's walk through them together. Engine 1 is space. Right now, in 2025, rental platforms show the average studio apartment in Gangnam costs about $800 a month. That's the average. Actual units range wildly, so you could easily pay way more. The median income for workers in their 30s is around $2,700 monthly. You're spending nearly 30% of your paycheck just on rent. After food, transit, phone bills, forget saving money. You're barely breaking even. So people move out to Gyeonggi Province, the suburbs ringing Seoul. Rent drops, space increases. Looks rational. Except now your commute is 71 minutes each way. That's from an MBC survey in 2024. 142 minutes daily. Nearly 12 hours per week. Almost 50 hours monthly. 600 hours annually. 25 days. To save on rent, you're giving up an entire month of your life to the subway every year. What's fascinating is that Seoul itself is massive. Riding the full loop of Line 2 takes 87 minutes. Most lines, end to end, about 50 minutes. Which means to Koreans, 40 minutes counts as close. You see ads for these bedroom towns that say things like 40 minutes to Gangnam by subway. Easy transfers. The logic is that 40 minutes is perfectly commutable. 40 minutes stops being a distance. It becomes a unit of acceptable suffering. That's how Gyeonggi Province becomes Seoul's bedroom. But 184% means more than just the number. Data from the National Institute of Environmental Research shows CO2 levels inside packed subway cars hit 2,000 to 3,000 ppm. The recommended limit is 1,000. We're talking 2.5 times over. Your head starts feeling heavy. The air tastes stale. You can't quite think clearly. Headaches, dizziness, trouble concentrating. This isn't psychological discomfort. It's a chemical reaction. Your body responding to oxygen deprivation, literally. You arrive at work already drained before the workday even begins. So that's engine 1. Geography forcing impossible choices. Now let's look at engine 2 is the supply paradox. Seoul knew about the problem. In 2024, they spent $70 million to add 48 new train cars. The goal was clear. Drop congestion from 150% down to 120%. What actually happened? Peak congestion hit 199%. News sources from 2025 report it's still hovering around 170%. Why does this keep happening? Every year, new lines open to suburban cities in Gyeonggi. When you add supply, you create the demand to fill it. Transport economists call this the Downs-Thompson paradox. Widen the road, more cars appear. Add more trains, more people ride. Demand doesn't just keep pace with supply. It overtakes it. Supply spends eternity chasing demand it will never catch. Which brings us to engine 3 is the cost paradox. Since June 2025, a 10-kilometer subway ride costs $1,551, about $125. Ask anyone who rides daily and they'll tell you it's expensive. Over a month just commuting, you're spending $50. But what does it actually cost to run? Seoul Metro's data shows that $125 fare covers 54.7% of the real operating cost, not even half. Where's the rest? Taxpayer subsidies. In 2025, Seoul Metro's annual deficit hit $580 million. The cumulative deficit has climbed to $15 billion and keeps rising. So here's what's happening. Citizens feel the fare is too high. But the real cost is almost double what they're paying. The gap between perception and reality. Should fares go up then? Seoul surveys show 6 out of 10 people oppose fare increases. So they compromise with gradual hikes. From $1 to $115, then $125. Slowly, carefully. Fare increases stay difficult, so budgets stay tight. Seoul Metro announces workforce reduction plans. 2,200 positions over 4 years. The union threatens to strike. After negotiations, they agree to hire 820 new workers, which basically just replaces retirees. What about adding new cars? They spent $70 million on 48 cars, and congestion still topped out at 199%. Without adequate funding, they can't keep up with growing demand. Let me spell it out. The fare feels expensive, but it's actually half the real cost, which means you can't raise it. Can't raise it, so you can't invest enough. Can't invest, so you can't fix the congestion. 184% is the price of affordable transit. Or more precisely, it's the result of a system that doesn't feel but is actually so cheap it can't improve itself. The story shifts here. Express Bus Terminal Station, where lines 3, 7, and 9 converge. 8:45 a.m., watch the escalator. Left side people walking up, right side people standing. On the wall, there's a poster. For your safety, do not walk or run. In 2007, the government launched a campaign. Everyone should stand in 2 lines on escalators, like other countries do. Standing is safer. By 2015, they killed the campaign. It failed. Why? Not because people don't understand safety. They understand perfectly. But the system has already taught them a different lesson. Get to the platform first, you board first. Board first, you might get a seat. Get a seat, you avoid the worst of 184%. This isn't about saving 30 seconds. It's about coping with a system that's pushed past its limits. The escalator behavior isn't the problem. It's a response to the problem. Which matters more in the moment? Abstract safety or avoiding the immediate crush? The system nudges you toward a choice. Keep left lanes open. Move faster. Compete for space. It's rational adaptation to irrational density. The irony is that the more rational each individual becomes, the more irrational the system gets. The system creates its own enforcement. When someone says, "Excuse me, left side please," you move naturally. The social script is already written. If someone objects to the pattern, they become the friction. If someone pushes back, they're the one making it harder. 184% gets built through small adjustments. We all make nudged by constraints we didn't design. It's an unspoken coordination, or maybe a coordination we can't afford not to follow. So let me bring the pieces back together. Engine 1 is space. $800 in Gangnam versus $400 in the suburbs. Double the cost means a 71-minute commute becomes the only viable option. Engine 2 is supply. Add 48 train cars, you just summon new demand to fill them. Supply can't catch demand. Engine 3 is cost. The fare feels high, but only covers half the real expense. Can't raise it, so can't improve it. Look, I don't have the answer either. Should fares increase? What happens to low-income riders then? Should they add even more supply? Won't demand just grow again? Every adjustment creates new pressures somewhere else in the system. So let me ask a different question. What about your city? On your commute, what trade-offs are you making without quite realizing it? Is it time, health, comfort, or maybe something harder to name? Seoul Metro Line 9, 184% capacity. This isn't just a transit problem. It's what happens when 3 rational systems interact in ways none of them were designed to handle. Housing economics, transit expansion, and fare structures. We adapt to what we're given, maybe recognizing that design, seeing those invisible nudges. Maybe that's where change starts.